Hi, everyone. My name is Devin Fritz, and I am a co-founder at High Impact Professionals. We at High Impact Professionals are excited to share with you our talent directory. This is a directory of candidates who are interested in switching to a higher impact career. And we have two versions of it. We have the public version, which is freely available on our website for anyone to use and has over 350 candidates to date. And we have a recruiter version, which is just for hiring managers at high impact organizations. And that has over 500 users and has more features. So if you're interested in signing up for that version and you're a hiring manager at a high impact organization, you can do so on our website and we'll get you set up with that. But today I just wanted to go through with you the public version of the directory and the two different ways you can access the candidates within. So we'll do that now. So here we are on our site, and you can immediately see the two different ways that we have of searching the directory. The first is our search form. You basically fill out a form with all of the criteria you care about for candidates, and you get a special customized version of the directory emailed to you that you can then use. And the other version is just exploring the full directory with all of the candidates and then filtering within that, so more of a spreadsheet view. So first we'll go through the search form. So this opens up a form for you to fill out. And a couple tips that we have here at the bottom. You should know that if you leave a field blank, it's equivalent to selecting all the options. So basically not filtering down by that option. So don't worry about leaving things blank. And you don't want to apply too many filters. We do have a lot of candidates in here, as I mentioned, but if you have a lot of especially niche filters, like they must be Kindy or something, have a think about how much that will narrow down your data. So you don't want to end up with no matches by having too many filters, but you will get a feel for that. So I'll just go through and fill it out quickly. So let's say we're hiring for HIP. You definitely want to get your email address right because the results will be emailed to your mailbox. Let's say I'm hiring a COO for high impact professionals. I want somebody who's full-time. Remote is fine. In person's also fine. All of these are fine. It's a C-level position, so let's say they should have a minimum work experience of 5 years. Maximum work experience, I'm going to leave blank. That's not so important to me. Now we have what the candidate's interested in. And let's say they should be interested in entrepreneurship because we're a small organization, operations, leadership and management, and strategy. And what should the candidate be experienced in? Well, I definitely want them to have an ops background and strategy. Let's just say those two. Cause area interest, I'm going to leave this blank. We're pretty cause neutral at High Impact Professionals. But of course, you can see we have a whole range of things that you could filter down by. And we have a good representation of people interested in the whole distribution of these cause areas. What level of EA knowledge is desired? Well, it's an EA meta org, so I'll say 100 plus hours. I don't care what country they're in. I don't care what languages they speak. Everybody, you can assume everybody in the directory speaks English because they filled out the form originally in English. So this is more if you're interested in a special language beyond English. Interest in changing jobs, well, let's just say 3, 4, or 5. This represents most people in the database. Not many people have filled it out who are 1 or 2. And then we have some just questions to understand how you'd like to use the database more. So we have a couple feature questions about features that you could help us understand if they'd be useful to you. Any feedback? I'll leave that blank for now. I'll click search. And now, as you'll see, I can check my inbox and I will receive an email with a personalized view of the directory. And here you see HIP Talents directory search. I got the email and I click on the link within and I get my results. So you can see that I have 121 records who match the criteria that I searched for. And further up here, you can see the directory is filtered by all of the things that I entered. And with that, we will go on to the second way of searching the directory. So here we are back on our site, and we're going to try the second way to view the directory, which is just to view the full directory in more of a spreadsheet view. So I'll just open that up. And here you can see the full public directory. So we have, looks like 374 records to date here. And you could filter this down in a similar way you did to the search form. In fact, the exact same way behind the scenes. So you can just add conditions to the things you want to filter. And I won't go through exactly the same exercise because that's a little bit overkill, but I will just add a couple things to show you how that works. So let's say we're still interested, it's an operations role, so we're interested in somebody with experience or interested in operations and somebody with experience in operations. And let's say also strategy. And just one final condition that they've worked for more than or equal to 5 years. And so you can see through a similar sort of search here, I got 90 records as a result. And something that's nice about this view is that you can see it updating in real time. So you have a sense of how many people are in your filter. Something that's not nice, which you might have noticed, is it's a little bit harder to get to the filters you want. And something that's nice about the search form is that you have all of the options laid out there for you, and you have a nice overview of the filters that you can set for the data. And then maybe just a quick word on the columns before we wrap up. So you can see here the profile last updated. We have by default sorted so that the people who have the freshest profiles, so to speak, appear on top. We've already gone through roles interested. Work experience, I think, is pretty clear. We have a link to their LinkedIn profile, should they have given it, or we have their CV link if they gave that instead. And that's filled out by pretty much everybody. We have where they can work, where they want to work, when they're available from, location preferences, including more of a detailed description. So if some people said they are willing to relocate but have a restriction on that, we have what that restriction is. We have where they live, we have which languages they speak, which cause areas they're interested in. We also have if they're open to volunteering and the type of work that they want. And like I mentioned, we're adding more fields, and we have even more in the recruiter version of the directory. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up for that. And finally, we just have here, if you notice that a candidate is outdated, meaning that they've found a job or they're no longer looking for work, you can tell us that so that we can keep the directory up to date. And yes, we'd very much appreciate that if you would share that with us. So with that, I think that wraps up everything. If you have any questions, you can email me at devin@highimpactprofessionals.org or leave us a message on our contact form. We definitely want to get feedback on how useful this is and where you find use and which things are not so valuable so that we can cater it to your needs and improve the directory and ultimately get more people who are interested in high impact work into high impact organizations. All right, I thank you for your time and look forward to hearing about how you view the directory. Thanks, bye-bye.